Good morning, everybody. That's Agent Carpo here. It's about 9 o'clock a.m. West Coast time, Pacific time, and I just woke up this morning and we got quite a bit of snow yesterday. 4 or 5 inches for here. That's a lot, and supposed to get another 5 today, somewhere around there. And I realized I'm a sucker for snow, and I hear a lot of people complain around me about how it's going to snow, and I'm like, this is great, it's wonderful. And people say, well, I'm going to have to miss work and this and that, and it's really funny to me because I think it's almost like a game people play. Like, oh no, it's going to snow, I'm going to have to miss work. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to go anywhere or do anything. But with the weather the way it is, we have plenty of time to prepare. So it's just the little mind games that we play, and each one of us has our own little mind games that we play with ourselves about different things in our life, different ways of, handling situations. And I was comparing that to snowflakes in my mind. How when you look at a snowflake from a distance, they all look the same. Some might appear slightly bigger or whatnot, but other than size, they all look the same. And we know that under a microscope, there are no two snowflakes that are alike. And you hear that when you're growing up, but really thinking about it again, the idea of how much snow is on Earth and how no two snowflakes are alike. And the same with the grains of sand. It's like they say there are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on all the beaches and on the planet. And that to me is amazing amount of stars. Trying to grasp or fathom that is just, it's ludicrous. You can't. So anyway, I like to cherish people's differences and independence or independent differences, I should say, as like snowflakes, where person's opinions may clash, ideas may clash, but ultimately, even though we're all different snowflakes, it takes all of us to make a snowpack, to make that beauty of a snowfall. And all the snowflakes tend to work in unison, almost as in we're all falling from the same place to accumulate in the same place. Yet, individual flakes kind of do their own thing, blow a different direction or whatnot. Anyway, it sounds cheesy, but I've really been thinking about the differences of people lately and how well we tolerate the differences and try to accept who people are for who they are instead of what they think, what they believe. And I think that this is an important factor to me. I think that a person's behavior in life is much more important than what they believe or think. In other words, a person could have some of the most ludicrous belief systems, but as long as they act accordingly as a human and help one another and help the world around them, then there are really no wrong ways to believe. But of course, there are plenty of people who would disagree with that. But for example, I've had people get angry at me for the way that I've spoken against religion. And I'm not really opposed to a person's individual beliefs. And that's where I think that the misconception lies. That the idea that a person believes in something is totally their choice and should not be harshed upon by others. I've met some atheists who will catch maybe one of my videos where I harsh on religion, and they'll get really heated about how dangerous religion is, how stupid people are that believe this or believe that. And I don't try to do that. I try not to call people names or idiots or assume that they're all just shallow and ignorant, because I know that's not true. I know that each person believes what they want, and I'm just as ignorant as the next guy. But while everybody goes on their own path, there's one thing that seems to come up again and again, is that another person will tell them, that's fine that you're on this path, that's fine that you found this, but until you find this, you will never be happy. And it's really hard, it's really difficult to get past people's ideas of what happy really is. I know that when I'm really content about something I believe, and I'm really convinced about it, and it's important to me, then nothing anybody else says can change my view on how I believe, and I don't try to defend my opinion on that because I just know what I know. And I found that the more I argue about something, the less that gets resolved from it. But as far as individual personalities and individual beliefs, that's what I was thinking. Even those two snowflakes may look alike, they're different on a closer inspection. Same with two people. Two people might meet in a room full of folks, and they might hit it off really well. And there may be a lot that they can share, a lot of life experiences, very similar interests, and they might become good friends. But the minute personal beliefs come into the picture, everything just goes out the window. And I've always been trying to figure out exactly why that happens. Is it because the one person wants to push their belief on the other, or is it because they can't spend time around somebody else who doesn't believe the way they do, because they feel they're a lesser person, or they're just less aware? I've had people tell me that I can't find God on my own, that I need Jesus, let's say. And that's a perfect example of how a person could not really be able to comprehend what goes through my mind or my emotions. A person could not understand how I found my own truth or how it's worked for me, because they're not in my shoes. And I have no more of a right to tell them that they haven't found their truth and what works for them. The difference I've always had with people, we can discuss things over and over, but the minute religion comes into the picture, people tell me I am wrong because of what I believe or don't believe. And that's always been a major hurdle, a big obstacle for people to overcome. To be quite honest with you, there was a time in my life when I was younger where I was very harsh on religion. I was very mean to Christians because they were very mean to me. I got past that and got to a point in my life where I began to accept that faith into my people who had that faith into my life, because I thought, well, just because a person believes differently than me, it doesn't mean they're a fool, and it doesn't mean that they're all going to pressure me and try to get me to believe what they believe, which had been a major issue for me for a long time. People would pretend like they were acceptant of my beliefs, then they would try to push me into theirs. And so after accepting and tolerating people for a while, I started to find that it was coming back. People were trying to push me again into their beliefs, but doing it in a way that made them sound like they were just being friends, just being buddies, very similar to, well, I guess what I'm getting at is that, I end up discussing this with many of these Calvinist type people. Calvinism is, well, I'll get this into the next one, so I'm almost out of time. So this is part 1, the Snow Day lectures.